skip Sephora because I think that these drugstore products are better and will save you almost $300. You've probably already noticed, but everything, including high-end and even drugstore makeup, has gotten so much more expensive. This is the time of year where brands and retailers like Sephora and Ulta try to convince us to splurge on ourselves and others through multiple different sales. But believe it or not, Sephora isn't the only place with great makeup and good deals. You probably already knew that actually. The drugstore also has some amazing hidden gems. You just kind of have to know where to look. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my personal all-time favorite drugstore makeup products that have saved me about $300 at Sephora. These are the products that I have continuously repurchased over and over again, or they're products that I would go out of my way to buy over something at Sephora. Also, please keep in mind, this is not a dupe video. I would consider these products good standalone products even if they didn't have alternatives or dupes. I also didn't choose a product for every single category because I wanted this video to be as genuine as possible. Truly, I am someone who prefers high-end and luxury makeup. I tend to reach for more high-end and luxury makeup, so trying to fill in each category with a product wouldn't be very genuine or honest because most of the times I am reaching for my high-end makeup. These are the drugstore products that I think are the exception and I find myself looking forward to despite them being drugstore or despite their price or despite the fact that they could be a dupe. I don't care about any of those things. I usually just reach for the best product possible. So if you have any recommendations and categories I might be missing, please let me know in the comments below because I want to share more of that information with y'all. If you are someone who is interested in a long-lasting gripping primer like the famous Milk Makeup one, then I would highly recommend to instead get the Elle Power Grip Primer or the Jelly Primer, which I feel like they re-released. I don't know if it's still available, but if it is, that one is just as good. They're very similar texture. They have this sticky grip to it, which for a lot of people can be a texture that is uncomfortable, but if you are committed to long-lasting makeup, this is the type of primer that I would suggest for you. This gripping primer I feel like solves a lot of niche problems. This isn't a primer I would recommend for everyone or for every day. It really just depends on what problem you're trying to solve because I don't think primer is necessary. So if you are someone who wants long-lasting makeup, you need your foundation to stay on throughout your 8-hour, 10-hour shift, and you already have a foundation you absolutely love, but the problem with the foundation is that it fades quickly throughout the day, then I would go with the Elle Power Grip Primer. What this is going to do is create that tacky base for your makeup. It also gives a smooth base for your makeup, so then when you're applying on foundation, things look smooth, but also your makeup will better adhere to your face. So by the end of the day, it should still look really good. And as someone who has acne-prone, oily skin, it is really easy for makeup to just melt off my face, slip off my face, especially if it's not the right kind of foundation. So I found that this is actually really helpful for the areas of my face that get the most oily. I usually like to apply it on my nose because I find that foundation has a hard time gripping onto my nose. I apply it over here and in these areas of my face where foundation tends to kind of break apart or fade quicker. And if you have active breakouts, this is a secret weapon. I noticed that when you have like active pimples, especially with oily skin, sometimes the foundation can slip off those areas. They don't really stick on those acne spots because those acne spots can sometimes produce excess oil and foundation always looks gross in that area. What I've learned to do is just take a dab of this gripping primer where that acne spot is, kind of concentrate in that area, and then take a fluffy blending brush. Then I'll go ahead and dab the concealer in that area to give me that coverage. But because I have that primer, it's not going to break apart as quickly as it would have without this primer. So if you have any of those problems, this is going to be the product that you want to use. It is $10 and it saved me $28 from buying the Milk Makeup one. The next product saved me about $58 at Sephora, and it is something that I continuously rave about on my channel. If you haven't tried it and you have oily skin, it is the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. This was featured in my Chew Choice Awards, which is just my yearly favorites. I will be making another Chew Choice Awards video very soon, so make sure you're subscribed. But I discovered this either last year or a couple of years ago, and I was just floored by how beautiful this made my skin look. I absolutely adore the finish of this foundation. It has that like natural matte finish, but it doesn't make your face look super flat, and it's not cakey looking on your face. It gives you that medium coverage and also blurs your skin. The only downside is that it's not the most long-lasting foundation. I find that it's not the foundation I reach for if I want to wear it for like 8-hour days. This is kind of what I'm going for if I want medium coverage and maybe will be out for like 3 to 5 hours. But there are definitely ways to make this work in your favor. So again, you can use that gripping primer for more longevity. You can use like the one size setting spray if you have that, or any type of setting spray with this foundation to make it last longer. It's definitely a workable foundation. So if you are someone who makes sure to set your makeup, prime your makeup, and use a setting powder, then you're not going to have a problem. But if you're looking for something to wear alone, this isn't going to be the best for longevity. It's going to be the best for a flawless finish. I haven't heard a lot of people mention this, but personally, I think that this is very comparable to the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, which retails for like $58, I believe. It's insane. I've tried that foundation and it is really good. I liked it for the time, but once I tried this, I'm like, yeah, no. The Giorgio Armani is very similar to the Maybelline Fit Me. They have a very similar finish to it, which is like that natural matte finish with a little bit of a sheen so that you don't look completely flat, but they also have the same problems, which is longevity. So if you have been eyeing the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, maybe try this one first, see if you like the vibes of it, and then maybe splurge to the Giorgio Armani if you want to see if it's better. Now, if you like a full coverage concealer, or you like the Tarte Shape Tape or Hourglass concealer, then I would highly recommend instead trying out the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear. I truly think that this is better in terms of being transfer proof, waterproof, full coverage. If anything, this might be a little bit too much for some people, so fair warning. This is what I would recommend if you have acne spots that you just cannot seem to cover with any type of concealer, because it truly will dry down, it will set and will not budge on the skin, and a little goes such a long way, so it's going to last you forever. I wouldn't recommend this as like an under eye concealer, but if you are on the market for a spot concealer at the drugstore, L'Oreal Infallible. This is not the concealer that you use to do your whole like triangle under eye situation. It will not work like that. It will look cakey. You want to do like a very like tiny dot and then blend quickly because it will set and that spot will not move all day. You don't even need setting spray for this. So if that is what you're looking for, if you're desperate for like a really good full coverage concealer. The Tarte Shape Tape retails for $32, but the L'Oreal concealer at Ulta retails for $14.99. So buying this has saved me about $17. Now, this is another one that I am very excited to share with you because I think that it's hyped up, but it's truly a hidden gem because I don't think it gets enough hype. It is a alternative to the Drunk Elephant bronzing drops. I'm not calling them dupes because the formulas, in my opinion, are very different, but in the best way possible, where I think that Elle made the formula even better. The Drunk Elephant bronzing drops retails for $38, which is insane. I used to love those bronzing drops, then they went completely viral, and over time I realized they were not worth the $38 that I was spending on it. So I am so thankful that Elle released their own bronzing drops. This retails for $12 instead, so I saved $26 buying this over another Drunk Elephant bronzing drops. Now, I absolutely love this formula because it is so much more blendable and flexible than the Drunk Elephant ones. Just like the Drunk Elephant bronzing drops, you can mix this in with your moisturizer, your foundation, but you could also wear this as a liquid bronzer, and that's something that I couldn't do with the Drunk Elephant bronzing drops because it wasn't as creamy or blendable as the Elle ones. Elle truly made this a very, very blendable formula. I have the shade in Pure Gold and I love this shade on my skin. It's the right amount of bronze for my skin tone. also this isn't that like super metallic shine. In pictures it looks a lot more metallic, and even in the camera it kind of looks very like highlightery, but in person when you apply this on your skin on top of your foundation, it looks like a very natural bronze glow, kind of like you just suntanned or use self tanner. It's beautiful. I'm obsessed with it, and I think it deserves way more hype because it definitely is more versatile than the Drunk Elephant bronzing drops. There are also more shades in the e.l.f. line, so if you are going to go with Drunk Elephant or e.l.f., go with the e.l.f. I don't say that lightly. If you watch my videos, you know one of my current favorite bronzers is the Haus Labs Velvet Bronzer. You can get this at Sephora or on the Haus Labs website. It is a very velvety, silky texture to it. I think it's so smooth, so buttery. Reminds me of the Physicians Formula Buttermelt Bronzer, except I like the shade range of the Haus Labs better. Now, the problem with the Haus Labs bronzer is that they are expensive. It is retailing for $38, and I don't think all of the shades are available on the Sephora website anymore. I don't know if they're discontinuing it or they're just trying to sell out their current shades before they release a reformulated version or smaller size version. Who freaking knows what's happening with that one? But if you don't want to spend $38 on my favorite Haus Labs bronzer, a great alternative is the NYX Buttermelt bronzer. But the reason why I would choose this over Physicians Formula is because they have a better shade range. So again, if you are of a medium tan, deeper skin tone, go with the NYX. These are way more pigmented and they still have the texture of the Physicians Formula and the Haus Labs. This retails for $10. The Haus Labs retails for $38. So if you buy this instead, you'll be saving $28. If I were to choose though, I'll be real with you, for ease of use, Haus Labs is truly there. But for best value and bang for buck and also quality, NYX is there. So it's kind of up to you, you know, if you want to splurge, if you don't. I like them equally. Okay, so moving on to the next product that I think is better than high end. I'm actually just using it to touch up my skin. It's the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Mattifying Powder. If you have oily skin and you're looking for a powder that you can use as a touch up to mattify your skin throughout the day without caking up your face, then I would highly recommend this powder. You can already tell how much I love it because I've hit pan on it. It's what I usually keep around me when I'm filming because I get oily really easily. And I usually just mattify my T-zone area with this powder. It is a very thin pressed powder, so when you are applying this on your skin, it takes a lot of layers before it ends up looking cakey, which is usually what you want in a blotting powder because you are going to continuously be reapplying this throughout the day. A similar concept to this is the Hourglass powder, which retails for $54. I did buy that and I quickly regretted that purchase because I realized it wasn't that different from this powder. Take with that information what you will. If you buy the next one, you'll be saving about $44. The drugstore is also the place where I tend to prefer mascara and eyebrow products. Because I go through mascara really quickly, I tend to finish them up within the 3 months before they expire. I also tend to finish up brow products fairly quickly, so I don't really like to splurge on these products. But on top of that, I do think drugstore does mascara and eyebrow products better. For the most part. This is the product that I am using on my eyebrows every single day. Can't live without it. I've repurchased this time and time again. It is the NYX Lift and Snatch. It's just your average feather tip brow pen and it does the job. It has that really thin brush to it, so it's easy to make hair-like strokes. I have the shade in Ash Brown, which I think is perfect for my eyebrows because it's not too dark, and I find that the pigment of this brow tint lasts all day. Glossier also has a similar product that retails for $18. This isn't too far off from the NYX one, so if you buy the NYX over the Glossier, you'd be saving about $5. The NYX Lift and Snatch retails for $13 at Ulta. Another underrated brow product that I think does the job is the Maybelline Express Brow Ultra Slim Pencil. Again, I have the shade in Ash Brown. This retails at Ulta for $9.99, and the alternative to this would be the Precisely My Brow from Benefit, which retails for $26. I used to love the Benefit Precisely My Brow, but I could never stomach paying $26 over and over again for the brow pencil. I would run out of it so quickly. And so eventually I was like, I can't do this anymore. I need to try to find a drugstore dupe. I would say this is a dupe. They really do perform very similarly. Like a brow pencil is a brow pencil. The shade is not too pigmented. It glides on smoothly and it does what it needs to do. Like I mentioned earlier, I think that Drugstore does mascara best. Also, I prefer to buy drugstore mascara because they usually expire within 3 to 6 months and my eyelashes are very particular. So anytime I try out a high-end mascara, I'm usually always left disappointed. I find, at least the ones that I've tried, the high-end mascaras, they tend to be clumpy and they don't really hold my curl and they don't have a lot of like alternative options. They might have like one really good mascara, but they don't have like a waterproof version, and I always usually buy the waterproof version because I want it to hold my curl. My all-time favorite drugstore mascara, you've heard it before and I'm gonna say it again, L'Oreal Voluminous Butterfly Waterproof Mascara. I wear this in almost every single video, so if you're wondering what mascara I'm wearing, it's this one. If I'm doing a tutorial, it's this one. If I'm doing my makeup in the video, I'm probably using this mascara because it is my tried and true mascara. I love the applicator of it. It kind of has that curve similar to the Refi, but it's not as extreme. It's just the right amount of curve to grab all of your lashes. This is also more of a dry mascara formula, so it's not going to clump up as easily. It's not going to hold down your eyelashes as easily, and it really just combs out your lashes, adds length and a little bit of volume. I can't say enough good things about this mascara, and I know that a lot of people hate waterproof mascara because it's hard to take off. I have no problem taking off this mascara with the DHC cleansing oil. So if you have that, you can consider buying this if that's what you're looking for. And this is the drugstore product I have been using, honestly, probably since, I want to say 2016, 2017, and I buy it every single year. Yeah, I have a headache. I'm so out of it today. I can't even get my words straight. So apologies in advance if you are watching this and you're like, she seems low energy. It's because I am. It's because I have really low energy and these lights not doing it for me. But anyways, we have one more product to go. This is a product that I would have not really expected to discover at the drugstore. I don't think you ever have to really splurge on lip products because drugstore just really has it down when it comes to lip glosses, lipsticks, matte lipsticks, things like that. But I do prefer to splurge on high-end lip products because I usually like their packaging, or I like that it's unscented, or I especially like that I can swatch on the lip products before I actually buy it. The thing with the drugstore is you don't really know what you're buying, so I always kind of avoid drugstore lip products because I actually never know how it's going to look on my skin tone. And a lot of the times when I do buy drugstore lip products, I'm always disappointed because they end up being so pale on my lips. I always, for some reason, buy the palest lip color for me. However, this time was different. It is the L'Oreal lipstick in the shade Ginger Spice. Hate the smell of this. The smell is the exact reason why I don't like to buy drugstore lipstick. The formula is decent though. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's great. It's just your average drugstore lipstick, if that makes sense. It has more of a shiny metallic sheen to it. It's giving 90s frosty lips when it comes to the sheen, which I'm not a huge fan of. I wish it was just normally satin or just fully matte, but I'll take what I can get because the shade is gorgeous. In some lighting, this looks like a warm tone, kind of brown terracotta color, and other lights it looks more like a warm tone rosy nude, and then in other lights it looks more like a pinky brown. So I love this. On my lips, it looks more like a warm tone nude. I pair this with my favorite Foxy Brown lip liner from Charlotte Tilbury, and I would consider this my signature lip color. I think it is so flattering on my skin tone. It's exactly what I have been looking for. This lipstick retails at Ulta for $11.49. I am going to compare this specifically to the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick because that's a formula that I really like from high end, and that retails for $35. By buying this lipstick, you're saving $24. And again, the drugstore just has so many lip shades. You just kind of have to find the right one or watch the right swatch videos from people that have a similar skin tone to you. I don't think this shade is dupable. I think one day I'm gonna bring this lipstick to Sephora, maybe swatch and compare to see if there are any comparable high-end lipstick colors to this. I love it. She is the one for me. If I were to only buy drugstore products and I didn't buy any of the high-end makeup products, I would save about $264 US. I am going to round it up to 300 because I think it sounds better. Either way, $264 is a significant amount of money that you could save for something else that you feel adds value to your life. As someone who absolutely loves high-end luxury makeup, I always try to remind myself that there are cheaper alternatives out there, especially at the drugstore. But I know how hard it can be to just try a bunch of random products at the drugstore and feel like you wasted your money. But I also know you can have the same experience at Sephora as you can at the drugstore, especially when at the drugstore you're usually just blind buying, not really knowing if something is good or not. You can't swatch it, you can't test it. So hopefully this video can help you find the hidden gems instead of just blindly buying things at the drugstore. And again, if you have any of your own recommendations of products that you think is way better than high end that you constantly repurchase, let us know in the comments below. I'm gonna make a list of categories that I feel like I'm missing, so make sure you're subscribed to follow my journey on finding the best products for every budget. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and as always, I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye!